Here for IrishBoxing.com with the boxer Paul Luman. Loonam. I always get that messed up. Apologies. The last time we talked, we were in Unit 3. It kind of seems like more of a home stomping ground that every time that I interview you is either in Diva Coffee or it's out beside the gym. But listen, we're here. How are we?
Matt, I'm all good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Not as always, man.
You're supposed to have me on last week, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, my car broke down and I had a bit of a mess of a day. But yeah, look, you're a legend. You'll have to get me in there today. But yeah, no, I'm always meeting you down in the gym. You always come down and get a couple of interviews with myself, Gary, Kelsey, and all the gang. So it's great. It's a good time when you're down there. It's great to see you down in the gym, and
Always
it's a
is,
good
man.
spot for a few interviews as well.
Listen, let me know how's camp been. What fight week at the moment? It always seems to fight week at you, Paul. That I know you're so early into your career, but it always seems like there's no nerves at all whatsoever. You're never nervous for a fight week. It's the same business. It's just another day in the office for you.
Another day in the office. Fight week. It's a bit more boring, like because you're all the hard work's done, so it's just a sharp work, and you're just kind of working on your getting your weight down and stuff. So this week is it's like a chill week, just finalizing a couple of things, meeting people with tickets, and it's there's more business side to it. And look, it's great as well. I can spend a bit more time with Carolina and Gianni, and it kind of takes my mind off the fight. But in terms of nerves and that, I think it's just I just take it in my stride and use it as fuel for the fire on Friday.
Yeah. Can you just tell us a bit about the opponent? Because I know we were meshing back and forth earlier on when I was going to send you the Zoom link, and you said there was a change of opponent. Can you just go a bit more in depth about that? What's the story?
Yeah,
It's
so
been breaking news, obviously.
I was supposed to fight an Indian guy called Rakesh Lachab, and I literally just got a message, I think 5, 6 hours ago, saying that he has to go back to India because there was some family trouble or problems at home, which is very unfortunate. So Jay's in the works now, so he's working hard and trying to get me an opponent sorted. But there's a couple of people that he has marked, and I said, yeah, 100%. Once they can make a certain weight, that yeah, I'll fight them. So look, just hopefully in the next couple of hours, I'll know the crack, and yeah, look, all should be good for Friday anyway. It was the same time for my. It was the same thing for my last fight. I was supposed to fight. First guy couldn't get his visa, so the second guy was fighting the week before, and then he ended up getting stopped, and then Jay Pollard came in on 3 or 4 days' notice, thankfully. But hopefully we'll get sorted again. I'm sure we will.
Can you just tell us a bit more about the opponent, if you can let us know anything about him?
Yeah, we're thinking of a guy called Jesus Gonzalez. He's from Colombia. He fought on the Bivol and Better BF card against the Saudi Arabian guy. I think his name is Alakel. I think that's his name, Alakel.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the guy that was sent over. I looked at him. I said, yeah, 100%. But he's boxed at 60 kilos, 61, 62. He's weighed in as well. So, and I'm obviously fighting as a bantamweight. So the fight against the Indian guy was supposed to be at 54 and a half. But I said to Jay, look, if your man can make 56, I'll move up. I'll give away the 2.5 pounds, like just to get the fight over the line. So look, hopefully all will be well and he'll accept it, and then it'll be against him, hopefully. But it's a boxing game, so you can't bet on too much, Matt. You just have to kind of cross your fingers and hope that will be him and we'll get the fight.
Listen, you've had a packed year so far. May, you were against Stefan Nicolay in your debut. Then July, you were against Yin Cansado. October, you're against Jake Pollard. And now, obviously, the last minute change of opponent. Now, it's been a packed first year as a pro, Paul. How are you feeling at the back end of this year?
Yeah, feeling really good. So it's what just under 8 months now as a pro, heading into my last fight of the year. So it's great to get 4 fights in the year, and that's look, it's a credit to Jay. You know yourself, he's putting on so many shows. He's absolutely brilliant, and he's keeping me busy and keeping me ticking over. So look, just get this one out of the way. Hopefully, get a nice win, and then it'll set me up for a big 2025.
Um, I know there was talk about a potential domestic.
Yeah,
Miles Casey was in the National Stadium in a
yeah.
great fight, and a draw that came through. But I know we were talking about it last time, but I just want to go more in depth to it. Do you think that you could still get this fight over the line if possible in the new year?
Yeah, maybe if it's put to him again, he'll accept it when he's ready. I heard he wanted one or maybe two more fights. But look, I'm not going to wait around too long. I have to kind of go on my own journey. And he doesn't accept the fight, kind of so be it. So I'm on to this show now next, fighting this show. And look, if I'm looking for another Celtic title for my next one next year, maybe the offer will be sent out to him again. But look, we won't have too much high hopes. The fight's there if he wants to take it, but look, I have to get the job done Friday night, and then after Christmas we can see. Hopefully, we'll get a Celtic title lined up.
You were saying there about your journey. Just talk to me a bit more about that. What do you see in your journey so far, and going through? What do you see in the future as well?
Yeah, so from going into the past, like so at the very start, I was traveling around a couple of gyms. I went over to Anthony Crowley's gym, and I was just trying to weigh up the options of maybe staying in Ireland boxing, or maybe trying to head abroad and do my thing. Obviously, Carolina was pregnant at the time as well, so Gianni was on the way. But look, with all that, with the family situation, I thought it was best for me to stay at home and be a helping hand for her and for Gianni as well. So, and it's obviously I wouldn't want to miss out on his younger years too. So then I came across Niall actually sent me an invitation to Unit 3. There was a photography day down there with Babs Daly, the one and
On the
only.
Babs, on the
And I
Babs.
said, that'd be nice to. He said, look, it'd be good to get a couple of shots done and just to have it on your Instagram and stuff. And it's so like Babs' shots are class. So
Oh, they're unreal.
definitely going to do that. So
Have you seen
a
the
lot
shots
of
that she
fighters
took of
went.
me on Instagram, man? They're fucking classic.
Yeah, she's top tier now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of fighters went down. Me, Brandon McCarthy, all the crew there. That were the existing crew from Unit 3. And then I got chatting Niall, and this was actually before I went to Crawley's gym, and I got a really good vibe from Niall, and I really liked his training. And he said, look, I can come down whenever I want and as much as I want. And then the more we got talking, then I just thought Niall was the right person for me. And Unit 3 as well. The gym was just brilliant, and to have that caliber in the gym to train with is absolutely phenomenal. Um, you're right there, Matt. All good.
Yeah, sorry, no, I have a cold, man. I have a cold.
No worries. Everyone's picking it up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But
Yeah. No,
then
it's good. It's good.
the
Keep
first
going.
fight came up. And well, with the journey as well, had a meeting with Jay. Thought the same with Jay. I said, Jay's going to push me in the right direction, and I just got on really well with Jay on a personal level and kind of as a friend. So I just said I think Jay's the man. So I got signed, and then I had my first fight in May. And look, the first one was just about getting the win. I kind of stuck to what I always knew, kind of the old boxer Loonam came out with me, so kind of the amateur style, and I just got the win. I just done
Yeah.
everything I needed to do to get the win for the first one, and that's what I done. Then the second fight, then a bit of a tougher opponent in Yin Casito, very game as well. I thought I showed great footwork, hand speed, discipline at times where he was trying to egg me on for a fight, and I just said, "Look, I'm beating him already." So I just kind
Yeah.
of stepped back and just showed my maturity. And then in my last performance against Pollard, everyone said it was my most matured performance.
Yeah.
Some nice body shots, nice angles, working a little bit inside as well. So look, the journey's been good. It's all about learning and trying to pick up the wins as much as possible. But it's still a process. Look,
Jake, I think actually one thing about Jake, he's an awful sound fella. Did you have any interaction at all with him after? Because he's a lovely fella.
yeah, I just said to him, look, he took the fight in 3 days' notice, and I think he postponed the fight, or he cancelled a different fight, but he took the fight with me anyway on the 3 days' notice. And I just said to him in the ring after, you can see it on the stream. I just said, thanks so much for taking the fight on such short notice. I really appreciate it, because if he didn't take it, I would have been stung with no fight, and I would have let the fans down.
Yeah.
So it was great that he stepped in, and even since I followed him on Instagram, and he's such a good character, and he does a lot. Like, he does a lot for pro boxing. He's obviously he's not at the top of it, but without guys like him, and without him, like, I wouldn't be able to be where I am. So yeah, no, look, awful sound guy, really sound. A couple of my mates were actually speaking to him as well, because they work in the same jobs, day jobs, and they just said that Jake Pollard fella is a lovely guy. So
what does Jake do as a day job? What do you
yeah,
make?
he's a farrier, so he works with horses. And
Oh shit, nice.
One of the guys that supports me, he does a bit of boxing training and that with me. He's a farrier as well, and he changes horseshoes and stuff. So
That's
he was back and
class.
forth chatting to him.
That's unreal, Paul.
Well,
Jesus.
yeah, but just a lovely fella, genuine guy. just wants to make some money for his family, support his family, and that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah. The thing with Ian Gonzalo, I noticed in kind of the last round that he kind of wanted to draw you into a proper scrap, and you're like, listen, I'm already beating this guy. Did you kind of get that itch though? You're like, listen, I'm already beating him. Let's have a bit of a tear up. Or was Niall like to listen? I know that he's trying to like in the corner. No, I don't know if Niall said this, but he's like, listen, if he's trying to draw you into a scrap, just stay with your boxing tactics. But I guess with you as a boxer, you're just like, it's a bit of a tear up here. I want to scrap. I want to knock here. Have it like.
Yeah, match it there, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
the mature Paul and me would think, nah, take a step back, feint, set him up for shots.
Yeah.
But in the moment, yeah, of course, when everyone's shouting, he's stepping back, trying to egg you on, he's taunting you a little bit like he does. Yeah, look, you as a fighter, you want to step in and say, come on then, let's have it. But if I had to do that every time someone egged me on, you'd be found out really easily. So look, I think sometimes if I can have a go and then if I can be mature to have a mix of both, it is a good asset to have because I can tear it up if needs be.
Yeah.
But if the boxing's working and keeping it clean, trying to keep the face clean as well, I just let that do the
You haven't
talking.
had any cuts actually in any of your fights. You've looked like that. You haven't had any facial scars, right? For your first few fights, though.
No cuts, a bit of bruising here and here, but I think that's from mainly catching shots because my own palm was hitting my cheekbones. But no cuts. As an amateur, I had a cut in the top of my head, but it was only a small cut.
How that happened?
Down. That happened in the Irish Elite semi-final against Adam Hessian. I think it was a headbutt, maybe it was a punch. I'm not sure, but it was my dad actually. He was doing cut man for me. And he ended up closing it up, and it was fine then for the final. So I won that, and then won the final. But I've experienced a cut there in the top of the head before. Yeah.
Speaking of the Irish Leeds, we were both down there actually the last day. I know Gary as well. Obviously we were talking a small bit. What do you think of the caliber of the elites this year?
Yeah, it was class. You know what? To see some of the young guns come through, kind of upset the kind of
The odds.
pot that's up there and upset the odds. Like Roy Colgan, I'm good mates with Roy and with Dean Clancy, and for Roy to beat Dean after him coming back from the Olympics, it was huge. Like it was the upset of the championships, and then for him to go on to the final and Jason Evan to beat him on a really good.
That was a good fight. That was a great
fight. It was a very close fight. I thought the right man just nicked it, but it could have went either way. It depends what you were looking for. I've sparred Jason lots as well. I've sparred Roy. It was class to see lads like that just going for everything. Like Jason Nevins won the elite title before, but he'd 12 months off and he was just jumping back in, and it was a crazy fight. And even Adam Hessian, Reece Owens, another cracking fight. Fellow Awfully man Brian Kennedy winning his first elite title. Again, so it was a really good night of boxing. Jack Marley and Nathan Ojo was a great fight. I don't know if you've seen that. Really good fight, close fight. Nathan Ojo surprised me a lot. He's a very, very good kid and he'll have a good future. But it was really good. I was just disappointed that Kelsey couldn't get the job done against Michaela, but Michaela's a class act as well, and Kelsey will go again. You know, that's what it's all about, is getting in against, you know, operators like that. Michaela's double Olympian. She had 11 elite titles, and Kelsey gave her a good rattle, and she'll go again.
Yeah. Just let's go back to the fight on Friday night. Do we expect a tear up from Paul Luman, or is it going to be a technical display that we see? Because I want to tear up. I want to see a tear up. I want to see a knockout. I
need to get someone to tear up first, because at the minute, Indian guys out. Obviously, had to fly back. Like, you know, I presume it's all genuine. Like, so as soon as we get someone, we'll know the crack then. And look, I like keeping the cards close to my chest. And
I know that. I know that for sure.
With me. But look, as I was been sparring another guy that's on the show, Kane Lewis. You know Kane well. We've been sparring the last 2 weeks, training together and stuff. And you know, as I'm improving as a pro, I'm working on all aspects of the game. Like had my outside boxing and my counter punching down to a T as an amateur, but as a pro working on the inside stuff, I feel like I've improved so much. So if it needs be, if I need to go to the trenches, we'll go there. But there's no point if I don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in sparring, so that's what you're learning. And if
Yeah,
it's done in a fight, and I'll just say, Paul, switch on now, let's go, and then I can do it.
yeah. Um, you had obviously Sonny Edwards and Giorgio Vizioli down the gym. And there's a big fight on Saturday night. Sonny Edwards against Gallia fight. The bloodline fight, as people are calling it. Will you be sitting down on Saturday? Because I know you love your boxing, and I know you love watching your boxing after. Will you sit down the Saturday night after? With a win, hopefully in the pocket. Will you be watching that fight, Paul?
Yeah, all going well. I'll have the win in the pocket, as you said. I'll be sitting down having some nice food, chilling, watching the
Cup of
boxing.
tea.
That's my favorite time of the week. Is obviously doing my own boxing as well, but I like sitting down on a Saturday night and watching the boxing. So definitely it'll be a cracker of a fight.
Yeah,
I hope Sonny Edwards gets the win. I think he will as well.
yeah. Bit of Diva coffee maybe as well. Diva coffee beside you.
Yeah, hopefully. So I don't live that close to Nace. I live in Tullamore, so it's a good bit away. But
Yeah.
do you know what? After the weigh-in Thursday, we normally head back to Diva Coffee and refuel and get everything. So I'm sure I'll be getting my coffee Thursday and Friday. So
I remember talking to I was talking to Niall, and this was your last fight before, and I was just thinking some of the preparation that you go into. It's like, yeah, I think you were in the gym late at night just to really just get a feel for that. Will you be doing that again this year? Where this fight, when you're in the gym and you're obviously it's late and you're still shadow boxing and all that. You're just getting movement, and it's late in the evening time just to kind of get acclimatized to it.
yeah, so normally what we do is after the weigh-ins, you refuel and you go back up a good few pounds. Like everyone's different, but I tend to go from 54 back up to 59 or so on fight night. And it's a huge drop for your body to be down at 54 and then back up to 59. It can be, you're a little bit bigger and stuff like that. So normally after the weigh-ins, around the time of the time I'm going to be boxing on Friday, the night before, so on the day of the weigh-ins, we'll go down to the gym and we'll just do a light shakeout, like not heavy at all, just to kind of feel good, because when you're eating a lot of food, you can kind of, when you go from 0 to 100, you might feel like, wow, but when you kind of can shake off that kind of dust and just feel good, I throw on the boots and just hit some headphones and just get in, do a small bit of shadow boxing, and then I know, right, I feel good now. I'm
Yeah.
back, I'm refueled after a wake up and I'm feeling really good. And it just gives me good confidence for Friday and kind of makes me feel good in my body as well. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that for every fight, yeah.
What's the fight day routine, Paul? What's your normal fight day slash fight evening like ritual? Do you have any rituals? Do you have a routine that you normally go through?
Not really. Just wake up, fuel up again. So it's the fuel up on Friday. It'll be a little bit lighter than Thursday because I'm fighting Friday. Wake up, have breakfast, head down to the gym, chat people, go for a coffee, go back then, maybe have a little lie down, back out for a walk. Normally, fight day ritual will be a walk. I always go for a walk just to loosen the legs and to just get out for a while. And just chill and carb up then for fight night. So yeah, it's just relax as much as possible, Matt, and get my head focused, get my head zoned into the fight, and then I just switch on like that, and then it's go time then.
Is that as soon as the hand wraps are getting wrapped, or is it just like when you really enter the venue, that's when the kind of it clicks in your head and you're just okay, right, we're here. I'm at my job now. It's another day in the office. Let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of as I'm pulling up to the venue, I'm thinking, right, let's go. It's time to switch on. But then as you meet some people, like in my company, Mark Kennedy, he's a great lad
Big
for a bit of
Mark, Big
crack.
Mark.
He's a great
That's
lad for
Big Mark. Shout out, Big Mark.
shout out to Mark. But he's a great lad, just kind of lighten the mood a little bit, and he's great. But as soon as the hands start getting wrapped, it's go time, and then it's go time and show time.
Yeah. Will you have Chase and Abby walking out to you again?
No, the boys won't be able to do it this time. I'm gonna have just the walkout music walking me out this time. But hopefully the lads can get back in and they can get a live walkout for me. That'll pass.
What's the walkout music you'll be choosing for this one?
It's unknown at the minute.
Okay.
I'm only
Okay.
joking. No, I have it. It's called Cyrus. It's a back in track for, I think it was in Top Gun Maverick. I think it was also
Oh
used
yeah. Yeah.
by
Yeah.
WWE. I think in
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick, as the boys are walking out to fly the jets, it starts playing. So it's kind of like a backing track.
I
There's
thought
no
you'd be
music,
more kind of
no
danger
words.
zone. You know,
Huh?
highway to the danger zone. I thought like you
Yeah.
walking into that.
No, no, not that one. Not that
No.
one. Look it up. It's called Cyrus. It's kind of good. I've been training a lot to it this camp, and I said, you know what, I'll just not many people might and they'll familiarize themselves with it once they hear it, but you won't know it from just seeing the title. But yeah, it'll be a good one.
Right. Well, one final question. Three singular words, and I'm going to always ask. It is tradition with our interviews, but three singular words that we can expect from Paul Newman on Friday night, November 29th at the Workout Warehouse.
Show. So it's going to be a good show.
Okay.
And that's not to be expected from me, but that is expected from me, but for the whole show as well, because the show is going to be a cracker. Hand speed and power.
Okay. Paul, on that note, I really appreciate you as always coming on. Thank you so much. And yeah, listen, I'll see you on Friday night, and we'll obviously have a chat and a laugh before or after. And I'll see you then, all right?
Matt, thanks so much. Enjoy the comms on the amateur card as well.
Bosh.
And I'll
Let's
chat
go.
to you soon. All right, you're a legend,
In a bit,
Matt.
man. In a bit.
All the best.